Can you identify three of the most pressing problem of Nigeria that we can contextualize into our conversation? What would you say, Prof, if you have the solution on your left hand to fix a problem? What would you identify as three major Nigeria problems?
The first one I will identify is lack of nationhood. Nigeria is a country still yearning for nationhood.
What does that mean?
What it means is that we are not united. We are still what Chief Obafemi Awolowo once called a piece of geographical expression. Ahmadu Bello once said it was a piece of historical mistake because we were cobbled together on 3rd January 2014 by Lord Lugard, the Southern and Northern Confederates and the Lagos colony, after Nigeria had been given her name by a young British author who wrote in the London Financial Times of 8th January 1897, calling it Nigeria, that Niger area.
Mm-hmm.
That is first major problem. In other words, we were cobbled together through the direct and indirect rule system that we were operating, with all of us already enjoying our independence. The Benin Empire, the Oyo Empire, the Kanem Bonu Empire, the ancient Ife. We were already independent, having our own systems of government, and we were happy. Now, such people that were already used to their independence and ways of life, to put them together and say they cannot now discuss their future.
Is it the reason for the agitation we see in Nigeria? This idea of lack of nationhood.
In fact, it is the beginning and the end of it. I can assure you that you were talking about three problems. I identified that one major problem. If you don't have nationhood and nobody believes in Nigeria as a country, if I ask you, so where are you from? You won't say I'm in Nigeria. You first quickly mention your village and then your state. Then you are filling a form. After asking you for your name, the next question is place of origin. You put it town, they say local government. You put it, they say state. You put it, then they say religion. You are already being typified. You are already being profiled to know whether what we want here can come to you or not come to you.
But how do we resolve this? Because either we like you are an Ozekome.
Yeah.
You have your origin.
Yes.
You are of the Edo origin.
Yes.
And if you want to drill down, you can tell who your forefathers are.
Yeah, yeah.
I am an Okimbalue, and I can also tell who my forefathers are.
Yeah.
But can we take away the fact that we are different tongues? Our tongues different.
No.
And our presidents who have constituted conferences, at least two of the presidents have said, you can have every conversation, but the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. The former President Goodluck Jonathan said as much. In those kind of conversations, the fear of the disintegration and some people wanting to exit the nation might start, don't you think?
Now, I tell you, I am not saying every Nigerian should now be the same person. In fact, I've always argued, and everybody, I'm on record to say that of Professor Onigu Otite's 374 ethnic groups in Nigeria through his demographic survey. He was a great sociologist that speak over 380 languages. Each of them must have a place and be respected in where he comes from. But when you want to roughing it over others, for example, like former President Buhari calling a whole ethnic group, one of the three largest ethnic groups, the Igbos, Southeast, as a dot in the cycle. What will you call me? A minority within a minority from Ijukwe, near Agenebude, East local government area of Edo State. What are you going to call me? But in America, for example, they first ask you, what's your name? You tell them. They say, where are you from? We ask you, what do you mean? You mean where I work? Or where I schooled? Or where I live now? Or where I was born? Because each of them would have been different. But they regard themselves as Americans. So they have what you call faith in their country. We do not have faith in our country.
How do we do that?
And that is why when you go around on a Sunday, tomorrow is Sunday, today is Sunday. If you are go around, you will see different town unions. And where will you see a Nigerian union holding a meeting? So it's like the Bible. It says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added. If we get it right constitutionally, because the present foundations are fundamentally damaged. They are damaged. I give you an example, Shion. If you have a house that the walls are cracking, how do you repair the walls? Do you go to the walls? You take a hammer. You begin to chisel. You chisel it with a chisel, right? Then you get cement, mortar. You call it bricklayer. I say, help me patch this wall. He patches it. In 1 or 2 months' time, more chaos, more gullies, more cracks appear on the wall. You have to look for the cause of that wall. You discover that there's a big tree in your compound whose trees have sprouted. They have become so big that they have gone towards the foundation of the house. And it's what is actually threatening it to fall. What do you do to that tree? You don't go to the tree and cut off the branches, because the branches will grow anyway again, and the walls will continue to crack. You go to the tree, to the roots, uproot it.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy you took this route when you talked about Nigeria and the Nigerian state. So for you, what are those factors you have identified as reason why Nigeria is still in its crawling stage after how many years of independence? There are some fundamental issues. Sometimes I think that principally the main issue is leadership. There is no doubt, fundamentally. Yeah. And because of our lack of quality leadership over the more than 6 decades since we achieved independence, political independence, because we know we are still under economic dependence. We've not really had that towering national figure that has demonstrated enough leadership skills and earned people's respect across all regions. We've not been lucky to have that. We've never been lucky to have a Mandela or Kagame, the Rwandan man. We've not had somebody in which most people have confidence in to move us forward. And I think that's a fundamental flaw. Some of our political leaders have had opportunities to fulfill that role. But I don't want to mention names, but I'm sure you can guess. But at the end of the day, they've disappointed us. And they've disappointed themselves too. Otherwise, we are a nation of big potentials, over 200 million people, we should be dictating whatever happens in Africa, politically, economically, even industrially, technologically. We are a nation that is being run on generators. 3,000 megawatts after 64 years. People always make an example. Despite the energy deficiencies of South Africa, for instance, they still have about 45 million people. They generate 45,000 megawatts. If we are a truly industrialized nation, we shouldn't be generating anything less than 200,000 megawatts. We cannot industrialize on generators. And these are the things that are giving us some level of regrets.
Hi, my people. Welcome back. Hi, okay. All of now we don't hear within Mike Ujekome talk concerning the problem with Bisoki in Nigeria the face. Though I get why Bisoki me and later Mike Ujekome. In be lawyer be in the come out they talk the thing where Bisoki they happen for this country exactly. Now so in the talk the way they talk am na so e dey for inside this country. Una know say this country where we dey so, na we dey whine ourselves say this country is a nation. Na we dey whine ourselves say this country is one. Na we dey whine ourselves say this country we are united. See, this Michael Ojekome, the first man wey be say him talk, the only thing wey be say okay, e give me joy concerning wetin dey talk, he always dey where in dey anytime wey be say okay, he dey talk about Nigeria. You know say okay, Mike Ojekome na from south south man na him be, but anytime wey be say okay, he dey come out dey talk, he dey stand for everybody dey talk. If to say okay, this country now happens to be hearing most of these persons, so be say okay, they come out they talk truth now. If to say this country happens to be supporting what is coming out from their mouth, this country for don dey better since, because e don tey wey this Mike and this other man wey be say una dey see for my screen now, they come out they talk about the issue wey be say okay, e dey for inside Nigeria. This country, the only thing wey be say okay, e go fit help small na im be that separation. It's not as if okay, we are trying to tell una say okay, make them separate this country. Unity is the best bet. Any unity, any place wey be say okay, the way unity no wan favor some part than some part, wetin them go do? No be to just go the separate way. That is why you see all this Mike Ojekome and many other people wey be say okay, they talk, they clamor for division and many other things. Though it don't take we everybody dey come out dey talk all these things, say okay, make this country, make everybody go im own way. E get wetin the first man wey be say him talk wey be say he sweet me. He talk and say the constitution and the thing wey be say okay, Nigeria, the fees when they never name Nigeria na im be the one wey be say okay, in dey help this country that time. Una know say okay, any nation wey be say one language and one religion no dey, it go dey hard for that country to dey united. That is why you see all these people they come and they talk say na that old Nigeria na im better pass this new Nigeria wey be say we dey so, because everybody now they focus on their own people, nobody know anybody. Now wetin dey happen for inside this country. You wey be say okay, you dey hear us now, if you get anything wey be say okay, you want talk concerning this, make you drop your own thoughts for inside comment section. And also if na today be your first time, make you like, make you share and make you subscribe. Thank you.